Word to the wise. If you need a if you need a voice manipulation program, don't use voice mod. It's just gonna prank you when you don't want it to. Hi everybody. I was ready for some spooks slash well, suspense, really. Not really spooks, but suspense. I was ready for some suspense. It's time for some 999. Which, wouldn't you know it? Oh wait, I have a message on retro events. Well, I want to look this up first. Oh, Dev Compliance actually sent me a message. Sweet! I'm gonna have to respond to them. All right. Okay, well that's something I'm gonna have to get back to later. Because man, I've been waiting on Dev Compliance to get back to me for a month for a subset. All right. All right, so last time in 999, somebody exploded! And then somebody exploded again! I'm gonna stop the music. And this time we're someone's probably gonna explode again. Yeah, see, someone exploded. And now we are stuck in a room with this person that exploded. This game must be boring in German. No hours, no persons, no doors. Well, wait, what's the German word for 9? Is it still, like... I don't know. Oh my.
This is a bucket.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
Dear God. Junpei reached for the broom, and as he grabbed it, he heard a soft voice from behind him. It was June. The rabbit hutch. Huh? He turned around. June still looked sadly pale, but there was a smile on her face. Oh, you just reminded me of it. The rabbit hutch, I mean. How did I remind you of something like that? Junpei and the broom. You were always playing around with the broom in front of the rabbit hutch. I was? Don't you remember? Junpei stared at the broom in his hand. You don't remember that summer either? She looked very sad. He shook his head. Of course I remember. How could I forget something like that? It was terrible. They were in 6th grade. Junpei and June had been assigned to take care of the classroom pets, the rabbits. Their chief duty was to clean the hutches every morning. On the final day of school before summer vacation began, Junpei overslept. He rushed to school and found June standing in front of the rabbit hutches. No sooner had Junpei arrived than June began to cry. He had no idea why until he took behind her into the rabbit hutch. The first thing he saw was blood. The hutch was filled with the dead bodies of the rabbits. Even after their teachers and friends came to see what the commotion was, June couldn't stop crying. I just kept crying and crying until you came over. You held my hand and you looked very serious and you said, Don't cry. I'm gonna catch the person who did this. After you told me that, I finally stopped crying. Well, the real fun started after you quit crying. You told me we were gonna catch the killer together. June smiled, and a little of the flush of life returned to her cheeks. Then we decided that we'd ambush them. Yeah, I remember. The school also kept roosters and guinea pigs. Junpei and June had decided the murderer would likely return to finish off the rest of the animals. They would ambush the killer at night. Junpei and June hid behind the hutch at dusk and waited. It was a warm summer night. The quiet sound of crickets whispered through the air. As the sun went down, the stars began to wink at them from the sky. In June's... Kane Kurishiki's face. That night was something Junpei knew he would never forget as long as he lived. But the murderer never showed up. We waited for them all summer vacation, and they never showed up. Yeah, but the animals didn't get attacked either. I think all that work amounted to something, you know? He felt the same way, but it was good to hear her say it. Although, you know, if you think about it, we were probably taking on a lot more than we could handle. What do you mean? She looked up at him, confused. Well, come on. We were just kids. If whoever killed the rabbits had actually showed up, they probably would have had a knife or something. I mean, you must have been pretty worried, right? I wasn't worried. Because you were there with me. She blushed furiously. You know, no one else wanted to take care of the animals. Clearly embarrassed, she tried desperately to change the subject. I was the only one who asked to do it at first. Yeah, boys don't really want to bother with taking care of animals, you know? Well, yeah, but you asked to do it after I did, didn't you? If it wasn't the rabbits, they were gonna make me do something else. You know how that school was. I figured it'd be better if I was working with somebody who wasn't too much of a loudmouth, right? Somebody who wasn't gonna tell on me if I felt like blowing it off. Really? That's why you volunteered? Yeah, it is. He nodded quickly and much too earnestly, and then quickly looked away at something very important. That hadn't been the reason, of course. He'd asked to take care of the rabbits so that he could be near June. But it had been so long ago, he couldn't bring himself to tell her how he'd felt back then. It would be embarrassing. He took a quick breath to clear his head, tossed the broom up, and then snatched it out of the air. Well, we don't really have time to be walking down memory lane like this, you know? Gotta figure out a way out of this room. Otherwise... Yes! June nodded curtly, then turned and walked away. Junpei turned around and looked at the room. At Snake's body. Chunks of flesh and organs still lay on the floor. And oh my god, are y'all still doing the expiration date skit with the bucket in chat? Oh my god. Bro. Bro. I mean, okay, let's be real. It's probably better that you're doing that than listen to what I'm about to describe in detail. Chunks of flesh and organs still lay on the floor. The conversation he and June had been having scarcely fit their surroundings. But perhaps that was simple human nature. Despite such a situation, or perhaps because of it, the mind turned to the farthest thing from death that it could find. Still, Junpei couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt at wanting so desperately to live when Snake lay dead before him. He had to live. He wanted a life again. A life with June in it. As he stared at the clumps of blackened flesh, all Junpei could think of was how much he wanted to live. Okay. Could y'all, stop? Okay, y'all are kind of spamming it now. Could you please stop? Thank you. Though I do appreciate the commitment to the bit. It's a little much. It's alright. No, I truly do appreciate you committing to the bit, but at a certain point, you know. Alright. What are you doing with the broom? Yeah, what am I looking at it? Looking at it, stupid! What else would I be doing with the thing I just picked up? You were laughing like the whole time you were typing. See, you see, that's the stuff I love. I am glad to hear that. Oh, there's something black in the toilet. Honestly, I'm glad that y'all were having a good time. That's honestly what matters. What do you think this is? Looks like tar. Kind of sticky. I don't think we can just wipe it off. I doubt just pouring some water on it's gonna help much either. What about hot water? Hot water? If you had some really hot water, like boiling hot, then maybe that would wash it off. Oh gee, that's a hint! Probably. There's nothing in the toilet. If there was, that would be gross. But you know what? But you know what else is good? That you were dying, but in the fun way, not in the way that these people are. You know what I mean? Of course you do. Oh wait, that's the exit. There's a piece of paper tied to this pipe with a wire. Drainage valve operation. Please do not flush the water in these pipes. Doing so may cause the drain to overflow. Well, since you told me. Wait. Some pipes. They're connected to the tank on the toilet. Is there any way to flush it? Water tank for the toilet. Seen a lot of OC guys trying to hide a piece in something like this. Usually for an 187 or something. Guess they didn't. Guess they think it's clever. Don't know what. Don't know when they'll figure out everybody else thinks it's clever too. Huh? I mean, I know peace, but what's OC? Organized crime. What is that? Some kind of police slang? Huh? Probably. Huh? What'd I say? What'd I say? Why does he look all sad now? That's not really important right now, guys. Let's just check it out, alright? No, he's not wasting any time. Yeah, good old TF2. Yeah. At least you were having fun when they went boom. Yes, exactly. Yeah, TF2 is great. It's a great time. Man, I miss playing it. Well, it's tank. Doesn't look like the pipes that are supposed to take water to it are working. Hey, there's something in here. You see it? A screwdriver! We can unscrew things with this. Is there something we needed to unscrew somewhere? Yeah, probably. Kinda hard to flush a toilet without water. Hey, okay, so we have a bucket. Maybe I can use the shower here to fill the bucket with hot water. Hey, 7, could you turn on the shower? I'm gonna put the bucket under the head. Okay, sure thing. Woohoo! It's filled with hot water. Try not to spill it, okay? It's heavy. Okay, I'll carry it. Honestly, water is pretty heavy. So we have a bucket. Yes, now it's filled. Now it is actually filled with something. It is not filled with the dying wishes of everyone here. Filled it. Now you should be able to flush it, right? There's probably a handle somewhere in the tank that you can pull. You think so? There is? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Wait, I think I'm supposed to find a handle somewhere. A wooden box. There's something in here. Luminol! What the hell is this thing? Some kind of spray bottle? Yeah, I can use it to spray blood and have it glow in the dark. Something written on it. Lumin... Can't read anything else. The label's all faded. Let me see that. You just grabbed it from him. That wasn't very nice. Oh, this is luminol. You know, forensic guys use it on crime scenes. Oh yeah, that stuff glows blue when you spray it on blood. Even if the blood's been wiped off, it'll still glow. Yeah, exactly. Toilet paper! Toilet paper with some kind of red symbols on it. You think maybe that's a... Scytale cipher? Scytale cipher? What the hell is that? Wrap a piece of paper around a stick and then write several sentences on it so that the whole paper is filled up. And you unwrap the paper and you can't tell what the original message was, right? That's how it works, more or less. And to decipher it, you gotta have a stick that's the same diameter as the original one. Same diameter as the original one, huh? Yeah. Then you just wrap the paper around that stick and you can read the code. Let's combine these things together. Yeah, we'll start with scouts. Particularly lines overhead. Yeah, those are stink lines. I have something radiating off me. Yeah, those are stink lines. That's why the car ran over him earlier. Because he smells. Yes, I see. What if I brought the toilet paper around the room? Woohoo! Oh, so you wrap the toilet paper around the broom, huh? Looks like the symbols line up perfectly. It says 634 plus. Okay. Alright, well, there's blood over here, so how about we spray with luminol? Wait, you don't really think we're supposed to use luminol here, do you? Yeah, it does seem kind of weird to use it here. But maybe I should try it just in case. Alright. Nothing happens. Oh, wait. Now we gotta turn off the light. LLR, LRR. LLRR. LLR, Oh. Just like you thought, Junpei. There's some more letters showing up after the LLR. See? It says LLR, LRL. Okay, I think that's code for this one. L, L, R, L, R, L. Well, I did what it said on the wall. I wonder if it actually did anything. Hey, this train's acting up! Hi again, Stegosaurus! Or, Stego. Pink. Sorry, I keep calling it Stegosaurus out of habit. Force of habit, I'm so sorry. You need to watch Exploration Day again? Yes, I do too. I love that. I love that movie so much. It is actually genius cinema. What the hell did you do? Just mess with the valves a little. Nothing big. Okay, drain's acting up. Okay, nothing usual about this one. My god. Alright, let's flush the hot water. Oh, there it goes. Just like a toilet should work. 185 equals. Stuff's washed off. Looks like that writing was numbers. See it? 185 equals? What is this? Got me. It looks just looks like numbers. Okay, 185. Okay, 185. Well, where are the other numbers going? Oh yeah, in my inventory. $634 plus 185. 819. And we put that into... Wait, it's a 4-digit code. Your sucky days here catching up on a Mochi stream might make you feel better. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that's so hard. Sorry to see that. Hear that, Stego. I hope it's nothing too serious. Please, please get some rest and drink fluids that you can. But I'm glad to see you around. Hopefully this does help you feel better in our way it can. You know, all the death and suspense and all that. Nothing too bad, just the stuffy nose. Gotcha. Still, stuffy noses suck. They still do suck. Actually, hold on. So what if I take the 6, 3... 1. What if I do... Oh, looks like the power's on. Wonder what the deal is with those things that say lock up there, though. Oh, I guess I need keys. It's a thermometer. Can you get it off? No, it's screwed onto the wall. Whoops, screwed! The thermometer was screwed onto the wall. That meant that Junpei needed to take the screws out with the screwdriver. While he was so engaged, Santa suddenly spoke. Hey, Junpei. You know why thermometers only go up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius, like this one? Junpei answered without taking his eyes off the screw. Oh, can't say I ever thought about that. 107 degrees, the cells in the human body start to die, and the organs begin to shut down. Proteins in your cells start to harden. It's like when you hard-boil an egg. Even if you cool it down afterwards, it won't go back to being a raw egg. In other words, it's dead. That's why thermometers don't go past 107. There's no point. Why'd Santa brought that up? Junpei wondered. Oh yeah? He continued to work the screw. But it's pretty rare for a fever to get that high. Even viruses and stuff don't usually drive the body temperature up to 107. Of course, there are other external things that could. Like what? Let's see. Something like getting locked in a sauna. Or getting thrown into an incinerator and burnt to death. Yeah, I guess that would get a little hotter than 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Junpei gave a short barking laugh. A moment later, the screw fell off. With a small tug, Junpei pulled the thermometer from the wall. All right, I got it! He looked up and saw Santa glaring at a blank section of wall. Uh-huh. What's up? Nothing. Forget about it. Santa spun around and walked off, away from Junpei. But as Junpei watched him go, he didn't look angry. He looked very, very sad. Oh, you took the thermometer up. It says open at the bottom. It says open at the bottom of the gauge. Wonder what it means. Maybe when it gets that hot, something will open? Okay, so let's put it under hot water then. Get this hot water on the thermometer then, maybe. All right, thermometer, let's get this party started. Yep, looks like that's doing the trick. There goes the gauge. And now it's at the open mark. Hmm? Huh, it opened. What's this? Oh wait, hold on. Death and Suspense is your middle name! Oh boy. That's your second middle name. How many middle names do you have, Stecco? Looks like there's a piece of paper in here. 957 plus. Okay. 957 plus. That means you're supposed to add something to 957, doesn't it? Well, yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Problem is, what to add? Okay, well, I still have to, like, unlock those. I already checked all 3 toilets, you know. Nothing unusual there. Alright, well, who wants to look behind here? That's where we came in. Like, it's not locked, but there ain't really any point. All that's out there is the numbered door. You can't go back through the numbered door even if we wanted to. Okay, then, the divider between stalls. I really don't want to think about what's over there. See what anything happens if I turn. Nope, nothing. Not even a drop. iPod? There ought to be a warning label or something. Yeah, no joke. You're half tempted to call both bomb death in this game Pulp Fiction. Oh my god. Dang it, Omega. You had to do it. That pipe that searches across the floor. Oh yeah, that's where I found the broom. Might be something in the tank, you know? Let's open that shit up. Oh, there is something in the tank. Red card, probably a key card. Remember if you saw a card reader anywhere around here? Yep, sure did. I sure did. Ooh, I ran next to it, but it's off. Red light's on, Junpei! Okay, now I can do the math. Now I can do the monster math. Oh, oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, 1776. Oh, you have to get both lights to turn on first. Oh, right. There's something here. Jimmy, the card is floating. Looks like the water floated the card up out of the drain. So reach out and get it. Blue key card. Oh! Symbol for Venus. Blue key card. This is a symbol for... Oh, Mercury. I mean, not Venus. Symbol for Mercury, isn't it? There's an elevator right outside of the big hospital room. I think that same symbol was on the card reader next to it. That's right. I guess that means we're not supposed to use this card in this room. Do you really think so? You don't think maybe we need it for this room and for the elevator? Great job, Junpei! Both the lights are on now. Now you just need to put in the password. Both lights are on. Should be able to enter the password now. What's with these E and C keys? E means entered, C means clear, I think. So after you put in the password, hit E. If you screw it up, hit C. Alright. And there we go. See, that wasn't so bad. Don't lick the doorknob, Koo. That's illegal on other planets. It's even unlocked. Outside of the shower room was a hallway that extended off to the left and right. At the right end was a large iron door. They'd moved a few steps toward the door when Junpei heard the sound of metal on metal. They turned around. Seven was doing something to the door of the shower room. Illegal in other dimensions? I don't know. That depends on the jurisdiction, actually. I'm sure it's legal in some dimensions. What are you doing, Seven? Well, I figured maybe we might want to come back here sometime. So I stuck the broom in here to keep the door from shutting. Alright, let's go. With that, he stood up and began walking down the hallway. He brushed past Junpei and kept going. After a moment, the rest of them followed him. Hello? Before long, they found themselves at the large iron door. They had only been up there for a moment when June spoke up. Junpei, look! He turned. There, on the right side of the hallway, was a piece of paper attached to the wall. Junpei ran over and peeled it off. It's a map of the ship's interior. It said C deck in the upper left corner. From what he could tell, it was a map of the floor they were on. There'd be time to look at it later. Junpei folded the map and stuffed it into his pocket. Back at the door, the four of them lined up in front of it. Santa stepped forward. He grabbed hold of the door, and then turned to look back at the rest of them. Ready? I'm gonna open it. They nodded. Santa nodded back and threw the door open. And Kiki is currently attacking my chair. All four of them leapt through. It took only a moment for them to realize where they were. They had been there only a short time ago. It was a large hospital room filled with countless beds. Lotus and Clover looked up as they entered. Ace was there as well, although he looked as though he had only just woken up. The moment they spotted Junpei, Lotus and Clover headed straight for him. As she neared him, Lotus threw back her hand and slapped him, open-palmed, across the face. How could you do this to us? Her face was furious. She grabbed Junpei by the collar and shook him violently. Clover didn't touch him, but the note But the hate in her eyes was no less potent. It was Seven who stopped them. Knock it off! We got bigger shit to worry about right now. His deep voice echoed across the massive room. Lotus glared at Seven, but let Junpei go after one last vicious shake. What? Go have a look. I stuck the screwdriver in the door. That door over there, the one without a number. As long as the screwdriver's there, you can't get shut, so you can get in there. Seven also explained how they might find the shower room and how they'd use the broom to ensure that the door remained open as well. And you're saying we can go in there without passing through the numbered door? Yeah, that's about the size of it. What the hell is in there? You'll know when you see it. Lotus and Lover looked at one another for a moment, then nodded and stepped through the door. Silly kitty, man. Yeah, I like Seven too. He's a cool guy. By then, Ace had made his way to them, moving with the stiff, shuffling steps of someone who had only just awoken from a lengthy slumber. Yeah, she's not ready. My goodness. I always thought I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though. Ace shook his head weakly. Should I go as well? Seven nodded. Very well. Ace followed Lotus and Clover with his stiff, tired gait. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time, it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of her bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank, and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as though even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was. Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each of them in turn and continued. It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was over for Snake, but he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator's only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Then 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened. I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. They wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer. Exactly. That means we're looking at multiple perps here. Junpei crossed his arms and grunted. Well, in that case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed? When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. After that was when we noticed he was gone. That means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts. Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer. Wait a minute! What are you talking about? June seems shocked. How can you say one of us is a killer so casually? Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers. Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know. What Zero wants? Exactly. This game is set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero's trying to make us fight against one another for that victory. Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other? Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another, form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations. Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake... Yes, almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well? Junpei hadn't really considered that. If Zero had killed Snake, then Zero was on the ship with them. Was Zero still on the ship with them? Of course he was. That was obvious. Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought. Where could Zero be hiding? Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was a cold monotone. I think Zero is one of us. Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Junpei? Well, that's possible. Huh? Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us. What are you saying, Junpei? Didn't you hear what Ace said? Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason. No reason? I've got a great reason. And what's that? The bracelets. He held out his left arm. Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to do. It'd be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set up by the detonator in the bracelet? Huh, you got a point. This could go hard as a novel adaptation. I think possibly yes, but for reasons that I will not get into here, I feel like this game story does best with the DS in mind. But I will not go into more detail about that. I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the Nonary game. All the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them from the game to move forward. Why is that? Why is that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that? Junpei let the questions hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Santa who answered. So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right? Yeah. Junpei nodded. 7. When we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right? Yeah, something like that. Alright then, I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right? Yeah, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation. So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake is Zero, and Zero is one of us. Which means 7 and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if Zero is one of us. There's always things to add between the dialogue, like extra description and stuff. Oh well, this game does that in spades. For sure. No one spoke. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up. What were his motives? His motives? Yes. Isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us? Oh, excuse me. Oh. Oh, that's because... Junpei choked. He hadn't thought of that. He had to be honest with himself. He had no idea. I don't know. Lotus sighed. Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei. In other words, you had only circumstantial evidence. I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know? Junpei was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else, to look at. Just when he felt he could bear it no longer. They heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. 3 in the morning. That means we have 3 hours left. And we need to move now. 7, Clover, Junpei. I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you? Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say and sighed. 7 and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away. We must go! We have very little time left! Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going. Their next destination was Mercury. They stood in front of the elevators next to the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen. Between the 2 elevators was a card reader with the Mercury symbol engraved on it. Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury keycard. He found the card while investigating the shower room. He took a deep breath and slid the card through the reader. It made a small beep, and the lights on the blinker linked to life. Now they were ready. 7 people, including Junpei, climbed onto the elevator. There were only 2 floor buttons they could push. The C and bottom buttons. The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward. Sometime later, all 7 of them stepped off the elevator and onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end. This is a numbered door. Yeah. It's door 2. Immediately, they began to discuss who would go through it. Their earlier experiences had shown them that they would meet again, regardless of which numbered doors they took. 2! Yep, I know what you're doing there. Be part of this game unless all none of us in the game are willing to cooperate. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem. Getting people to cooperate. I mean, you kind of need to cooperate to survive, but, you know, not everyone does. As a result, there were no arguments this time. Instead, they concerned themselves with who would be sent in to investigate what was beyond the door. The first volunteer was 7. Junpei followed suit, which meant Lotus was, by default, the 3rd number. 5 plus 7 plus 8 equals 20, becomes 2 plus 0 equals 2. Alright, we're taking off. Okay, please be careful. Jesus, you're still acting like you're married, you know that? Isn't she cute? June blushed. So did Junpei. Perhaps in an attempt to hide his emotions, he quickly turned away to pull the lever on the red. The door opened. As they'd come to expect, there appeared to be a short hallway on the other side. Alright, let's go. Lotus was the first through the door. 7 was next, and Junpei brought up the rear. Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their bracelets. It stopped. Yeah, it stopped. Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast. It was the 3rd time they'd been through the process, but they had yet to grow accustomed to it. Not that Junpei wanted to. He planned to finish the game before he got a chance to let imminent death become commonplace. Junpei looked around again. It was a short hallway with 5 doors along the walls. There were 3 doors along the left wall, and a single one on the right. At the end of the hallway, the 5th door was covered by a thick metal plate. Junpei didn't think they'd be able to open it. After taking a look around the room himself, Seven spoke.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You two okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
Sure thing. Seven nodded to them and headed into the room closest to him.
Lotus looked at the doors for a moment, then headed for the one in the center. At last, Junpei was left alone. Well, I guess I better get started too. He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. All right. Another room, baby.
What the hell is this supposed to be? Like a drawing of Whirlpool or something?
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's trying to look like water. Looks like the water doesn't work. Doesn't matter how much Seven turns that thing, no water's coming out. Has the water been shut off from somewhere else? And hey, there's a bed. There's a dirty blanket on the bed. Man, this is a mess. It's not even a bed anymore.
Can't say I'd want to sleep there.
Hey, this handle's pretty loose.
Loose? You think it'll come off if you pull on it?
Fell off.
Oh, look at this. The handle doesn't really fit on the string. Maybe it wasn't meant to be attached to it. Take a look at this handle. The inside of the hole's threaded like you're supposed to screw something in here. There. Have you seen anything that might fit in there?
Toilet paper tube, huh? I seriously doubt I'm gonna need this for anything. I don't know, you never know. Oh, this part's thinner than the rest. In fact, this doesn't really look like it's part of the rest of this thing. This rod feels loose. Maybe if I give it a couple turns. Here we go. Screwdriver shaft! Now combine the 2 together and... So if I just stick this metal rod into the handle... Thank God it's the right kind of screwdriver for that screw. Awesome. You can totally use this.
Damn, the screwdriver looks like a soldering iron. You think it's some sort of industrial grade screwdriver? Guess that doesn't really matter. Anyway, as long as we got this, we can unscrew any felt screws we run into.
Yeah, Junpei mentioned a screw somewhere.
Oh, what the hell? It's not opening.
There's something up with this drawer. I don't trust it. Yeah, but there's screws here.
Sweet, got the screws off. Now we can open the drawer.
I feel like I'm sequence breaking somewhat. There's nothing in here.
Well, maybe the drawer is what we need. Maybe the drawer is what we need.
The drawer, huh?
Alright, let's yank the thing out.
Alright, anything in here?
There's a bump on the back.
I wonder what it's for.
Maybe there's a hole somewhere and these bumps line up with and trigger a hidden switch or something. Hey, we've seen weirder stuff. Doesn't seem that far-fetched.
Alright, let's see what this is for, I guess. Oh, wait. That was the room I was already in. Somebody made some wavy blue lines on this mirror with blue paint. Is that a drawing of a blue scarf? No, maybe not. There's a knob on this faucet. There's no way we can get water out of it like this. If we can find a knob or something that will work as one, then we should be able to get water to come out of this thing. Wait, what if we unscrew the other one, the one in the other room? Can we? Oh, okay. It's just not gonna let me. Okay. I thought I was clever. But apparently not. Conspiracy is really high. In fact, it's so high that's kind of hard to see a reflection in it. The sink, there's no light shining on it. It's hard to be sure. It's hard to be sure because it's so dark here, but I don't think there's anything going on with this sink. This faucet is too hard to turn. What's the deal with the lighting here? It's just this one beam of light. The rest of the place is too dark. Can't see anything. No way we can explore the rest of this room. Okay, then. God damn it! No matter how hard I pull this damn thing, it won't budge! Guess I won't be opening this door anytime soon. Doesn't look like it's got a keyhole, and there's something. There doesn't seem to be anything stopping it. Well, how am I supposed to open it? Good question, me. Is there anything else in here? I took the drawer out of this. Okay, guess there's nothing else in there. The chair's pretty old. 7 sound, it'd probably break. Huh? See something? Nothing at all. Nice recovery, Junpei. Nice recovery indeed. Trying to look under the bed. I feel like I should be able to look under the bed. A towel. Well, it looks like a towel. I have to wonder if the design means anything, though. Maybe we should consider what the design might be. Perhaps that'll give us a hint? Just hanging from the wall. Well, if we're pulling the string, then it must be a toilet that flushes. A moon? What a filthy, disgusting moon. Yeah, it's pretty filthy, but it's a precious hint. Let's remember it, alright? I refuse to touch this. I refuse. What the hell's wrong with you? I don't want to touch it, ever. Okay, no one was making you touch it. Paper seems pretty old. Ugh, how the hell can you touch that? It's horrible. Now, it's not like I've really got a choice, do I? It's not like I want to. Design on the towel. Do you think that means anything? On the towel, it looks like the water is flowing from the river to the spring. Do you think that means we need to make the water flow from here? I don't know, replace. It's kind of weird shape for a grain. Do you think they made it that shape for a reason or just for fun? Oh boy, where am I gonna find that handle? Oh, duh. There's nothing in the drawer. Yeah, that's not right though. That handle in the drawer doesn't really fit, you know? It just looks messy. Why don't you take it out? Alright, let's combine the two. Yay! Now I can use this for the handle. Sweet. The handle I got off that drawer fits in the faucet perfectly. Now I can turn the water on. Junpei, what are you doing? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm running the water. I can see that. I'm asking you why you're just letting it run like that. Think about it, Lotus. This faucet didn't have a knob when we found it, right? What do you mean? Just watch. Anytime now. Hey, water's filling up! Doesn't that just mean the pipes are clogged? Oops, let's turn it off for now. So, did anything change? The water stopped flowing. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Junpei, I'm leaving this one to you, alright? Okay. So, nothing's changing! So, we've got this tile. Yeah, circumstances would be kind of limited. I'm willing to bet that your survival instinct would override any sort of, like, desire to not touch something.
Got these red, blue, and gray lines. Oh, dude. Ooh. What the heck does this stuff mean?
Hell if I know.
Read the red lines on top of the other ones.
The red lines?
Yeah.
Junpei put the wet tile into his pocket. He was about to turn away when there was a noise behind him. He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead. Hey, what's going on? You okay, man? He was concerned. Never seen Seven like this before. Slowly, the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little dizzy, that's all.
His face was pale and his breathing was heavy. Sweat was pouring off his face and staining his shirt. He was many things, but fine was not one of them. Are you sure? You don't look so good. Seven didn't answer. Half of his face was twisted, as if distorted by extreme pain, and his eyes were glazed. Finally, he spoke.
What am I doing here?
His words made no sense. What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot.
No, that's not what I mean.
He shook his head several times, as if trying to clear something from it.
It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back. I think I've been here before.
Huh?
I said I've been in this room before!
You were here? When? Why?
Owie, Light, Nona.
Suddenly, Seven was mumbling to himself. They were words Junpei didn't understand. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he said. What the hell was that? Seven's brow furrowed furiously, and he ground his teeth back and forth.
It's right there. I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just can't.
Seven stopped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran a hand through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide.
That's right! An experiment! There was some kind of experiment going on this ship!
An experiment? What sort of experiment?
They were trying to control people! Or something like that.
Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's story. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued.
Owie, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were there. In the experiment, I mean. I think there were 4 or 5 more, but I don't remember all their names. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here.
Seven began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly about the room. He looked confused. So far as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling, as there were odd twitches to his movements.
Experiment. Cradle Pharmaceutical. Those kidnapped kids. Was I working on that case?
Seven continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei. Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to Seven. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, Seven finally stopped. He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face registered mild surprise, and he began to mumble to himself again.
The hole's gone? Oh, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on this boat that look just like this one.
At last, Junpei could not contain himself no longer. Hey, what exactly do you remember? Well, maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person and tell me what's going on here? Seven stood up slowly.
Well, it's not like I really remember everything. I've only got bits and pieces, and they're scattered and don't make much sense.
I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces, then. Junpei could feel it. Whatever Seven had remembered, it was important. Very important. Seven drew a large, muscled hand down across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke.
From what I can remember, I think it was a cop.
A cop?
Yeah. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago. You remember that, right? It was all over the news.
Yeah. I was still in school. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why. It was all over TV and the newspapers every day. So you're saying you were investigating it? Yeah, that's what it looks like. And I guess I found something. There was this medical company called Cradle Pharmaceutical that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. They told me a ship would be leaving that night, with all the kids on it. They were going to be taking care of some kind of big passenger ship somewhere in the ocean. And so, Seven had headed to the wharf. He kept to the shadows, and before long found the suspicious ship he'd been looking for. There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. They were men in black suits. Many of them were carrying large bags onto the ship. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. There could be no mistake. There were human beings in those bags. He had moved before he even realized he was going to. Out of the shadows he came, his gun already in his hand. He heard the words, "Don't move," but they weren't his. He felt metal touch the back of his neck. Her head. "Drop your gun," came the cold voice from behind him. With the words, he felt the cold metal thing behind him press against his skull. Slowly, Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. And suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his neck. A needle. Was it some sort of drug? As he was thinking about that, Seven felt his face hit the cold concrete beneath him. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him. Damn it! Shit, my head hurts! Seven woke to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room. Where am I? There was a small, shabby bed and a dirty sink. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often. I'm in a cell, huh? Opposite the toilet was a door set into the wall. Seven struggled to his feet and hobbled toward it. He gave the door a good shove, then another, and tried pulling it. It didn't open. Well, that was about what he'd expected. It wasn't likely that someone would put him in a cell only to leave it unlocked. He threw himself against the door a few times, but to no avail. I knew it. Seven grumbled to himself as he moved back toward the bed. He sat down. He sat there for a very long time. Just how long, he wasn't sure. At last, he began to nod off, and had nearly fallen asleep when he was roused by a distant voice. There's over... It's 9! The voice was far away. Very far away. Seven couldn't understand what it was saying. Nonetheless, it was a voice, and a high one, most likely a child. His eyes shot open. Hurry, over here! Okay! As he listened, he could pick out several different, distinct voices. There were at least 5 or 6, possibly more. Where were the voices coming from? Okay, there's something I need to do. Just a second here. Just or easier way to get the volume through from here. There, that's better. A little bit louder. Where were the voices coming from? He looked around the room frantically. Perhaps the door? No, that wasn't it. What? Go now! Was it coming from the left? Was it coming from under the bed? He grabbed the bed and flipped it up with ease. There it was. There was a hole for ventilation in the wall where the bed had been, covered with a metal grate. Seven lay down on his stomach and peered through the grate. He couldn't see anything. It was too dark. Now that he'd found it, however, there could be no doubt. this was the source of the voices. For a moment, he was confused. Why were there children nearby? Then he remembered what the man from Cradle Pharmaceutical had told him. How a ship would be would take the kidnapped children from the wharf to a waiting passenger liner out in the ocean. Was Seven on that passenger liner? It didn't matter. What mattered was that he had to find a way to the children. Seven looked at the metal grate. Could he fit through that hole? He stuck his fingers to the grate and grabbed a hold of it.
Yeah. How'd you like that, you son of a bitch?
Dark square sat open before him. Seven wiped the sweat from his forehead and crawled inside. Junpei waited for Seven to resume his story. The longer he waited, however, the clearer it became that Seven had no intention of doing so. He had gone silent and simply stared off into the air, his eyes blank. Hey, what happened after that? He'd waited long enough, but Seven shook his head.
I don't remember what happens after that. I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. But I think I found some kids, too. Oh, man. I can't remember what happened next. Oh, man.
What happened to the kids, Seven? Did you save them?
I don't know. I don't know if it was me. I just got this feeling. I think one of the kids died. Girl, I think.
Or you gotta go eat. See ya? Alright, sounds good, Stegosaurus. Oh man, you're missing out some good information! Huh? Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cold. Seven's head dropped. Junpei saw on it a look of sadness, the likes of which he had never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly, as if he were fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. His sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old, abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke.
Anyway, just please don't ask me anymore, okay? I really don't remember anything else.
After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the other man. There was nothing more he could do. Instead, Junpei turned his mind to trying to make sense of what Seven had told him. Children who had been kidnapped 9 years before. Apparently, a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical had been behind the kidnappings and had taken the children to the ship they were on now. They had been brought to the ship for an experiment. Something to do with controlling human beings, Seven had said. The 16 children who had been kidnapped were the subjects for the experiment. Seven had said 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. That was the new information. He'd also learned that Seven was, or had been, a police officer. Still, there was little he could do with this new information. He learned nothing about the Nonary Game or Zero. He had no idea why they had been brought to the ship that had been the site of those experiments 9 years before. Junpei couldn't forget what Seven had said the purpose of the experiment had been. To control human beings. Could such an absurd experiment really have been conducted? Before long, Junpei realized he had spent quite some time deep in thought. No time for that, he chided himself. He had work to do. Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it, and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. Oh boy, that was some good information, huh? Crazy. All right, let's see how Lois is doing. Wait a minute. The drain clogged? Looks like a lot of the water isn't draining out of the sink. So what do I do here? Look at this. Tiles we've found and the tiles here are the same size. When I touched the tiles on the door, I felt something weird. Huh? Remove these tiles.
And that is... Maybe you swap the tiles we got from the tiles on the wall, something will happen.
I suppose now we just need to figure out what the strange designs on these tiles mean? Anyway, we should look for all the tiles that are the same size. You're right. Let's meet back here after we've done a thorough search. I guess I don't have all the tiles. There's a door in the back. I wonder where it goes.
I thought of that and I tried a couple things, but yeah, same result.
Yeah, 7 wasn't about to do anything. Oh well. Okay, what else do I have? Oh wait, that's right. How could I have forgotten? Sounded like something falling. What was that? I heard it too. What's up in the drawer? And look, it's another tile. Tile with 3 colored lines on it, right? Junpei, did you notice this? The red lines. Doesn't it look like they form a 14? 14, huh? Yeah, I guess it kind of does. Is that everything? There's still rooms we haven't checked yet. Okay, I guess there's still some rooms I haven't done. Okay, what if? You already took it out of the system? Yeah, I know. So put another one in. Oh, sun.
Symbol on the toilet, then, huh? Seems a little fishy to me.
It's a sun symbol, but it doesn't look like the ones on the doors. This looks like a toilet.
Pretty old school toilet. Guess that makes sense, though. The shit seems pretty old, too.
Taking the handle off and the string's just hanging there. Okay, I guess I could use the towel for something.
The towel is a river and a spring, right?
So, what do I do with this towel again? Okay, totally filled with water. Okay. You know what, voice mod? Please stop it. Man, who runs voice mod anyway? The incompetence with some of the things that they do. I swear. Like, I couldn't get updaters to work like twice in a row, and now this. Very nice. That mirror was a little lowered down. Looks like the same height as the mirror on the right. I wonder if that means anything. A drawer that doesn't open. I wonder if this is part of the puzzle. Blanket. Not a really great one, but still. Oh, you're gonna see a ghost or something. Yeah, maybe not. 14 equals E. 14 in red. That's what it says on the tile. Yep, 14 is E in hexadecimal. Well, more or less. See, the 14 on the tile is... Well, it's an E, right? Yeah, exactly. There's no light shed. In the other room, the river and the spring went together to solve the puzzle. Does that mean there might be a similar puzzle with this mirror? Well, there's nothing else here apart from the mirror. Maybe I just need to pair something with this mirror. Like... 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's... Yeah, It is, but you're missing F. But yeah, that is hexadecimal. An important number system. Well, it's a very useful number system if you're a programmer. Damn it, kind of pissing me off that I can see it, but I can't touch it. Well, okay. Toilet paper. Still white enough for me to know what it is, even in the dark. Hell, you're nervous about it. I feel like there's something I'm missing. I feel like I missed. Aha! The handle. See this thing? Wait, there's something on the back. A mirror. Oh boy! So, yeah, we could probably use this mirror to reflect the light. I'm just gotta figure out where to reflect the light. If I go somewhere it's a little bit easier to shine light on. I just find the mirror on the back. I get it. If I shine light on a mirror, a symbol appears. The left one is a sun, the right one's got a moon symbol. I'm gonna remember this. Well, on the mirror on the back. If I shine light on this mirror, then I get to see some numbers. You have 4 on the left and a 7 on the right. 4 and 7. Okay. How does that help me? If F equals 15, yes, and then 10 would be 16. Exactly, that's how hexadecimal works. Exactly. And yeah, it's particularly useful because the highest number you can get with an 8-bit number is 255 if it's unsigned, which is why the highest color value you can get in the hex is FF. Yeah, what do I do? I kind of forget what I'm supposed to do here. Is there something I'm missing? Surely there's something I'm missing. Emergence. Maybe it needs me to emerge out of here. Okay. You know what? Maybe I should just go into the walkthrough. 16 times 16 is 256. So if you subtract 1 from that, because 0 counts as one of the numbers, you get 255. Ceiling. Oh boy, how useful was that? I've seen a lot of ceilings in my time. I say this one rates about a 3.5. Everyone always forgets 0, you know what I mean? Poor 0, am I right? Always being forgotten. Very scary, I'm like it, but you understand the basics. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely not a number system that you have to use, really. It just has its applications that make things, that can make things easier to write, especially if you're dealing with binary, because binary can get translated to hexadecimal pretty easily. Forget about the puzzle yourself. We need to look for new ones. Yeah, I know. I know! I'm trying to find How to open this third one? Okay, well, I'm early on. Okay, so I want to do this. Remember, I'm doing this just to move the story along. So, you know what? Walk through it is. Okay, confinement area. Go to the leftmost room. Wait, really? It doesn't give me the opportunity to flush the toilet. Are you serious? Because I tried pressing it like once and it just wouldn't do it. Really? Second pull. Third pull. Did you just hear something?
I did, but it doesn't look like anything's happened here.
Huh, wonder what that sound was. I wanted it to flush the first time! So why didn't it flush the first time? Like, come on, man. Oh, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong room. Hey, what? Okay, what did happen? Huh. Remember the back one open? What the heck happened? I don't think I shouldn't pull it anymore. Thing, do you? You don't want it? I'll do it, alright? Yeah, just stop. Just stop. Oh. Oh, right. That's what the moon symbol was pointing to, huh? Probably made it so that someone would trigger by accident. That's the case. Second time. And a third time. Fourth time. Fifth time. This is the 6th consecutive time. There's that sound again! As whenever I pulled that string a couple of times. Junpei, did you hear something from the other room? The room. From the dark room? Okay. Okay, if I can click on that without clicking on the arrow, that would be great. Oh, I guess I could just click the wall. Oh, this door certainly opens easily enough. More tiles. More tiles, man. Okay, well, it looks like we've investigated all the rooms. The only mystery left is that door.
Alright, let's crack that mystery then.
We've got 4 tiles.
And there are a bunch of tiles that are the same size up on the wall here.
So if we replace 4 of the tiles on the wall with the ones we've got, that should open the door. Well, there's only one way to find out. Hey, did you just hear something unlock? Does that mean we got it right? Yes, it looks like we did. 14 hidden on the tile. If you convert that to hexadecimal, it's an E.
Basically, E's and emergence are the 14s from the tiles. So we replace it, that gives up the answer.
Do you really care why it worked? Let's just get out of here. Yes!
Let's go!
I found it! With online help, but I don't care. I wanted that achievement. They passed through the open door and headed to the next room. Junpei jogged down the short staircase and looked around. What the hell is this place? The words had sprung unbidden to his lips, but it was clear why. Junpei shivered. Lotus and Seven reached the bottom of the stairs and stopped short, terrified. This room is really creepy.
I think we ought to get the hell out of here now.
He jogged up the stairs on the opposite side of the room and shook the door in the wall next to the catwalk. It didn't open, and he muttered to himself. Figures. It's locked, isn't it?
Yep, don't know why I thought this wouldn't be any different.
Junpei looked around the room again. In the center of it was a chair. The back of it was covered with electrodes connected to a nest of wires. Beneath it was a strange glass panel. Junpei wasn't sure what it was for, but it made him uncomfortable. Whatever it might have been beyond the glass, Junpei couldn't tell. It was too dark.
Hi, Peggle! How are you doing?
Hi, Peggle! How are you doing, Peggle? Oh, okay. Well, Zero's covering your face, I'm afraid.
Stay healthy and always remember.
Delele, whoop!
That's not what I had in mind.
Ugh. God.
Okay, well, I was way too late. Sorry! Sorry! Anyway, but how you doing, Peggle? We were in the Dragon Beaten Minutes. Oh my god, how did he do that? This room is kind of dumb. I honestly don't really like this room. I remember this one taking me a while when I did it. Junpei turned to look at the right side of the room. There was a table covered with a piece of cloth. Parts of the cloth were stained with something that looked suspiciously like blood. On the top of the table were a number of metal instruments. Junpei didn't know what they were for, and he had a feeling he didn't want to find out. He figured out somebody went, oh, this is easy enough. This is the hardest escape room, what do you mean? You're not wrong, this really is kind of the hardest escape room. His mind began to imagine what could have taken place in that dark, cold room. The things he imagined were not pleasant. That's why I'm glad it's optional. Yeah, it's an optional one. But I still get an achievement for doing it, so I'm doing it. Junpei shook his head in an attempt to clear it, and he tried to focus on something else.
Anyway, we don't want to stay here any longer than we got to. Let's figure out the puzzle and get the hell out of here. Come on.
Bum, bum, bum. Alright. Let's look around. These levers have got to turn something on.
Of course they would. All they can do is turn something on or off. What's important is what they turn on or off.
Don't say the floor is going to suddenly open up. Red, yellow. Do colors mean something?
No idea. I mean, red looks more dangerous, but other than that,
The bottom of this one looks like it's covered in rust. I don't think it'll move at all. A bunch of buttons here with the letters A through F. Let's push some of them. Down you go! So if I press it again, back you come! I guess these buttons switch something on or off when you push them.
there are a ton of knobs here.
Doesn't seem like any of them do anything, though. Do you think it's broken?
All the dials are pointing in different directions.
Maybe something will happen if we turn them? Shoot. They're all rusted. Like, it's turning them doesn't really do anything.
The needle on the gauge is at 0.
Doesn't look like it's going to move.
A really creepy chair. The manacles make you think like it was used to torture people. Well, we can't open these manacles without a key. There's some sort of weird symbol on them. Cat always said he was sus no matter what. He's not sus, he's a nice guy. There's something on the screen. This device will conduct the experiment. Once the experiment has been completed, the door will unlock. First, adjust the switches to match the blocks in the sample above. Huh. I don't know what this thing is, but we gotta figure out this puzzle. It's right next to a torture chair. Whatever it is, I don't think it's good. Anyway, we just adjust the switches to match the blocks on top, right? You adjust the switches shown in the four corners of the screen, then press the check button. Junpei, we don't know what this thing does. You can always come back to it later. There are lots of other things you could do. Okay. Okay, well those have to be on. What the heck does this? Okay, well there's... I think they are adding, but like... 3, 1, 2. 3, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I really only have to look at the top left one, right? Okay, I just gotta subtract 1. There we go. Adjustment is completed. Now proceeding to execution phase. To complete the experiment, data must be collected from the subject. Once preparation is finished, place the subject in the chair. Whoa, I thought we solved the puzzle already! What does it mean by preparation? I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think this means one of us has got to sit in the chair. Well, 7's never gonna fit in that thing. It's either you or me, Junpei. Collecting data. I wonder if it's going to run electricity through the subject. There's a human head on the screen. Maybe it's gonna zap the brain with a little electricity? This really doesn't sound safe. Anyway, we've still got to prepare. We can talk about this after we figure out what it means by preparation, alright? Well, it wants us to prepare, so maybe we ought to ask what it needed to do. Goodness. Well, if I got this right, I think it's the sun... Wait, what? Sun symbol? That was weird. There's nothing about a... Manacles are still locked in place. I got a sun symbol engraved. Wait, do they? How can you tell? I thought there was a hole here, but I guess it's got a cover over it. We're not gonna be able to get that off. Spells down there pretty good. Maybe there's something around here we can use to get that thing off of there. Can you see anything in there? I can't see anything. I don't really think we need to bother with trying to open it. It's too dark to see anything. Huh? Did I see something shiny in there? Yeah, let's not get ourselves. We can think about deep frying someone's brain later. Exactly. Of course, the entrance is locked. It's been like that in every room we've been in. What did you expect? There's no point trying to go back. Let's just think about going forward, alright? What's wrong, Junpei? What are you doing on the floor? Well, I thought maybe if I got down here I could see through the glass. It's not working, though. You don't think it's just a large sheet of glass they put into an indentation? I don't know. I mean, why would they do that? In the placement of the chair. You're not making sense, Junpei. What's your point?
Well, I'm not sure, but don't you think there's something under the glass? Error. The disposal tank is closed. Please fill the tank with water. What tank? Oh man, don't tell me you gotta do something with a water tank.
There's probably something around here to open the tank or whatever it's asking us to do.
Looks like the only controls are in this room. Yeah, go ahead. Should be able to do this one. Alright, let's pull the lever. Is that water?
What the hell? What's going on?
Will you calm down? It's just water going somewhere. It sounds like it's underneath us. That means the floor... Oh! Junpei, look! What's she... Oh, damn! I can see through the glass now. Oh, I wanted to look through the glass. EDVF. There are a couple of letters in the blood written on the shark's belly.
It's dead. Looks like letters are E, D, B, and F. Whatever those are for has to be in this room somewhere.
Okay. What? There's a strange noise coming from the chair. Looks like it's been turned on. I guess the puzzle here was that the power had to be sent in a specific way. Okay. Okay. There's something shiny in there?
Yeah, well, maybe. We gotta check, though. It'd be pretty bad if we missed something important. Maybe we can find something to take that cover off with.
The manacles are still locked in place. We got a sun symbol engraved on them. Oh wait, that's right. Error. The restraining device is locked but empty. The subject has not been properly placed. Unlock the restraining device and reset the subject. Reseat the subject. Oh, the restraining device has to be the chair. Well, then I guess we just need to unlock the chair. The manacles are still in place. Okay. So we gotta unlock something. A wrench! A number of rusty torture tools are lined up here.
I don't think there's anything else here we need.
Cool. Then let's unlock this. Cover's bolted on, they're pretty good. Should be able to get those bolts off with this wrench we just found, though. Sweet! It's open! The hole's too small. Can't see in, even with the cover off. Well, you can't see in, but I think there's enough room to stick your arm in. Are you sure you want to do that? There could be something dangerous in there. Okay, I admit that scares me a little, but we need to see if there's anything useful in there. Alright, here we go. Arm into the hole. Hey, I think I can feel something. Small, cold, and hard. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in here. Alright, let's see what this thing is.
You with the sun symbol on it.
We should be able to open the other door with this.
Yeah, but we gotta get out of this room before we can do that.
We're probably going to need the sun key to do that.
None of the doors in this room have keyholes. I bet we gotta use it on something that's not a door.
The sun key should fit into the keyhole in these manacles. Alright, sun key, in you go. And yes! Great, they're open. I don't think we're gonna need the sun key again in here, though. This seems unlikely. Alright, sun key, you've done your job. Into my pocket with you! I don't think something in the chair is gonna cause that machine to do anything. Should probably take a look at the monitor instead. Okay. The restraining device is unlocked. Please seat the subject in the device. The message on the screen was disturbingly detached. Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it. How ironic that this would be the situation in which this slim, beautiful body is useful. Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it and you can solve...
Junpei's right. We screw it up.
Seven couldn't bring himself to finish the thought. His eyes fell to the floor. Junpei followed them. Beneath him was the dead shark, floating underneath the glass. Perhaps it had been killed by an electric shock. I'll be fine. Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead.
But...
No one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair, too. You know. I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen and let's get this over with. After her words had made it clear that Lotus would book no argument, she turned and walked toward the door without hesitation. The chair, not the door, without hesitation. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook. Do you think you could do me one last favor? Don't say last.
You're making me nervous.
But just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters that I love them very much. No, tell them that I will always love them. Daughters?
You got kids?
Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei. They're twins. I had them when I was young, after some things happened. Their names are Nona and... Wait! Nona?! Junpei's words shot out before he even realized what he was saying. You remember the story Seven had told him. Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were there in the experiment, I mean. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Lotus took a step back from Junpei. Seven looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly as if he weren't sure if he was completely awake.
No way. Couldn't. Lotus. Is your last name Kashi Wabara?
Lotus's eyes went wide. How do you know that?
Are you serious? What the hell is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom.
That kid? What do you mean, that kid? Are you acting like you've met her? Seven's brow furrowed.
I have.
What?
Yeah, I met one of your kids.
When?
9 years ago.
Where?
On this ship.
Why were you?
It's not a short story.
I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please. What happened here? Seven glanced at Junpei, then turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei had heard only minutes before. Every detail. At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head. Oh my god. Everything I've been looking for the last 9 years. The person who had all the answers was right here. Looking for... Yes, that's right. 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. And 9 days later, they came back. They never told me what had happened to them over those 9 days. I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt in any way. Still, I was sure that they had been through something terrible. So I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. If I did, then I'd force them to relive whatever horrors they'd been through. I didn't have any choice. I had to try to ignore it and move on. A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they'd always been before they disappeared. They smiled and made jokes and did all the silly things kids do. It got harder and harder for me to ask them about what had happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there was no way I could do it. But I'm still a mother. Couldn't simply forget that something terrible had happened to my children. So I decided I would investigate what had happened on my own. I'd find out what had happened to them during those 9 missing days.
What did you find out?
Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Once the 16 children who'd gone missing came back, things were just swept under the rug. Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured someone was probably paying or threatening them to keep their mouths shut.
Cradle Pharmaceutical. No, probably something even bigger than that.
Cradle Pharmaceutical. Have you heard of them before? No, that's the first time I've ever heard that name. Seven, how did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceutical was connected to the kidnappings in the first place?
I figured that finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does.
What did they have in common?
Every single one of the kids who disappeared had gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital's one of a bunch that were under the control of Cradle Pharmaceutical. After that, It was just about connecting the dots.
The hospital. The hospital.
For a while, I was trying to get some kind of story out of the kids at the hospital. One of them told a weird story.
What was it?
Have you ever heard about the Gansfeld experiment? I guess all the kids had to go through it while they were at the hospital. I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling.
Seven cleared his throat and proceeded to explain the Gansfeld experiment. First, subjects Q and A are put into separate rooms far away from one another. Then a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them. Subject A, on the other hand, is put in a large reclining chair and given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what image his Q is looking at. Oh yes, I've heard of that. It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't it? Telepathy. Telepathy. Junpei rolled the word over in his mind. That's how the experiment on the ship was supposed to work. The experiment to control people, right? Yeah. I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists, but maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceutical bought into it. Lotus grunted. Seven had been thinking hard for the last several minutes. Finally spoke.
You know, if that is the case, I still don't get how that has anything to do with any of this. The Nonary Game, Zero, why we were kidnapped. What does any of that have to do with telepathy? I know I brought all this up, but I have no idea. Maybe none of this stuff is connected after all.
Then, in that moment of silence, a cold voice echoed down from the ceiling. No subject has been detected. Unless the subject is detected within 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour. If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat the subject in the restraining device.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going.
Oh no, that's not what we...
Just hurry up and get it over with. Junpei, I'm counting on you.
Right.
Lotus sat down on the chair. Junpei looked at her one last time, then made his way to the monitor. Lotus, please, tell me right away if you feel anything weird. You worry too much. Get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you. Lotus was putting on the best act she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much that if she hadn't been sitting, she likely would have fallen down. Failure was not acceptable. Junpei took down one last deep breath and stared at the monitor. Okay, the crappiest puzzle in the game! Okay. 2. Oh, that's right. I need to check on the other side. Okay, that does something. Okay, 2 at the top. Oh, hey. Okay, so that looks good. That doesn't look good anymore. Okay, so that removes 2 from both of them. That adds 2 to that one. Need one more. No, that just moves 2. Unless. Yeah, I don't know why I'm trying to solve this puzzle, honestly. I don't know why I'm trying to solve this puzzle. I don't know, it's interesting. Honestly, it's not as bad as I remember. Yeah, I actually affect both of them. Oh, right! Okay, I need one more up top. That requires 7. That takes me 2. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. Left side. Switch them both to 2. Right side. Turn both to 1. Oh. I did it. Wait, what? On the left side of the head, turn both switches to 2. That's what I'm doing. Maybe it's the order? Nah, that walkthrough is wrong. Maybe Game Facts has it. Change the on-off switches the following order: left, bottom, 1, right. Okay, left. Bottom 1. Right, top 1, bottom 2. left, top, 1 bottom. Alright, top. What? How? Oh, I know. I think I know what you mean. This puzzle sucks. Bottom one. Okay, no, that walkthrough just makes no sense. Got a left and right mix. Yeah, I mean, it's also just... I don't know, it also just like... Okay, Wait, maybe I do have them mixed up. Yeah, that's the left side. The right side. Oh my god. I said right side, but I thought they were talking about the head! The experiment has concluded. The door will now unlock. I can hear the door unlocking. Now we've got a new message. Release subject from the restraining device. Lotus, are you alright? Yes, I am. I'm glad nothing bad happened, but I do think my life just got a little shorter. Hold on, I'll get you out right away. Shouldn't take long for Seven and me to get her out of here. Let's get out of here now. Being a guinea pig is not for me. Damn straight. I don't ever want to see this thing again. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here! Metzger's Sin. Achievement unlocked. Outside of the room, a hallway led off to their left. With nowhere else to go, they started down it. They turned left twice before they saw the elevator. In silence, they jogged up to it. Junpei pushed the C button. The elevator motor ground away, and before long they found themselves once again on C deck. The door opened, and they stepped off. They'd expected to find 4 other people waiting for them. There were none. Where did they go? I have no idea. Lotus shrugged. Something in the pit of Junpei's stomach stirred. He tried to forget the feeling, and took off down the long hallway before him. Seven and Lotus followed at a run. They ran, and ran, and ran. The hallway seemed endless. Their destination had already been decided. The door behind the central staircase. There was a sun symbol engraved on the keyhole of that door, and Junpei had the sun key in his pocket. That key would open the door. It had to. That was why they ran for the central staircase. They had run for quite some time when they arrived at the door that ended the hallway. Junpei stopped. He laid his hand on the doorknob, his breathing heavy. Seven laid a hand on his arm. Hold on a sec there. Huh? We don't have the key for this one yet, right? There's a Jupiter symbol engraved over the keyhole. Seven was right. They had no Jupiter key. Then we can't open this door. Unfortunately, no, we can't. Jeez. Sun door's gotta be just on the other side of this, you know? Frustrated, he twisted the doorknob. The door opened. Hey! It opened! What? The others found the Jupiter key. Well, what are we waiting for? As he spoke, he shoved the door the rest of the way open. They rushed through and stopped cold. The terrible scene before them made their blood run cold. 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood. Junpei felt a cold sweat trickle down his spine. He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold, deathly cold. But his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think. He couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank. What the hell? What the hell happened? Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged towards the bodies, his movements stiff. He bent down over Clover and pressed his finger to her wrist. Nothing. She's dead. Suddenly, Lotus moved. Before he understood what was happening, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket. Hey, what are you doing? He leapt back. Lotus looked up at him, terrified. The key! Give me the sun key. Why? What do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back! The murderer. The murderer. Once again, Junpei looked at the dead bodies. Santa, Clover, and Ace. That meant the person who had killed them was... No. No, it couldn't be true. Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove back into his pocket and came out with the key. Let's go! Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door. Lotus shoved the sun key into the keyhole and twisted it hard. But... why? What happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock. Oh no. Is it the wrong key? I don't know. Maybe. Lotus sighed, defeated, and leaned against the doorknob. She felt it twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame. What the hell is this? The door was already unlocked? Why? How would I know that? Whatever, let's just go. Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door the rest of the way. They stepped inside. In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out toward the bow of the ship. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. They were all breathing heavily as Junpei spoke. What the hell is this door? I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or a switch or lever or card reader or anything. How the fuck are we supposed to open this? We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back. No, no! I'm not going back there! There's a murderer back there! There was more stark terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging. But I don't see any other doors. As he spoke, Seven stepped toward the door in front of them, as if to illustrate that it was the only door. It opened. Nothing surprising. A simple automatic door.
Look, guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this. Hi, Yubi. You caught us during a very creepy moment.
Very creepy indeed. I hope you're doing well.
The other doors are already unlocked, and this one's automatic. We haven't seen anything like this before.
How could their situation possibly get worse? 3 people were already dead. They'd hit the bottom, Junpei told himself. There was nowhere to go but up. He stepped through the door. And whatever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared. No. No. It wasn't true. It couldn't be true. It was impossible. Utterly impossible. It was a dream. It had to be a dream. A nightmare. Yes, it was a nightmare. If you could just wake up. He was seeing things. Yes, that was it. This was a hallucination. A lie. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. Right? June. No, the codenames meant nothing now. Connie. Connie! Connie! Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest. Connie! Connie! Hang on! Junpei swept her up, shook her by the shoulder. She moaned, her eyes fluttered open, but only barely. Connie! Junpei? Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. He stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted his hand up. It was covered in blood. Oh man, Connie! What the hell happened to you? How did this happen? It was all he could do not to break into tears. Junpei, I'm sorry. Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with him. I might not make it. No way! No way am I gonna let you die! I'm gonna save you, I promise! Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really happy. Don't give me that I was crap! You're gonna see me again lots more times! You've just gotta hang on, alright, Connie? You... What could he do? He looked up from Connie, desperate for something. Anything. Then he saw it. A small submarine. A submarine? What on earth was a submarine doing there? No, that didn't matter. Nothing mattered, except saving Connie. That was the only thing he wanted. Junpei turned his head back to look down at her. Hang on, alright? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna go see if it works. No. Don't go. Please don't go. Please just stay with me, okay? I wanna be close to you, Junpei. When I... Connie! Junpei, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He'd feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. Junpei, do you remember how we hung out a lot when we were kids? We went to the pool, to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school? They're all memories I'll never forget. All those moments are treasures to me. But I also wanted to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now. No! I mean, yes! Yes, it will happen! We'll go to all sorts of places, Connie. You hear me? I promise! Wherever you want. Really? Yeah, really. I swear. That makes me happy. Really happy. She said it to herself, over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face. Junpei, I feel sleepy. No, Connie! Don't fall asleep! Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much. Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed, even as he felt his throat go hoarse. Connie! 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 Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Connie's body. He cried and cried until he had no tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained, but only as an empty shell. Somewhere, he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. It rang 5 times. It rang 5 times, then faded. 5 o'clock. Quietly, gently, softly, he set Connie down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize that Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? Slowly, he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign that they had ever been there. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly, he passed his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart with a sound like grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. His heart rattled in his chest, an empty, lifeless thing. It had been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel. When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea of blood. 2 bodies lay in it. There was no need to check. There was no breath left in them. His eyes lit on Lotus's wrist. Her bracelet. It was gone. He stared. It meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He couldn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. Part of him knew the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Tears poured from his eyes in great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around, door opened again, and slowly, numbly, he walked through. He kept walking. Why stop? An object set in motion, simple inertia carried him forward. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And then he was floating in water. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who? One dead body lay behind door number 5. The body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room. The body of Snake. At the central staircase were 3 more. Ace, Santa, and Clover. Just outside the door were 2 corpses. Those of Seven and Lotus. And in this very room lay the body that had once been Connie. And now Junpei would join them. Who, then, had killed them all? Who? Junpei let out one last breath. Faintly, he felt the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded away, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of the water. And, that's the end of the game, everybody! Oh, boy! You know who it was? Oh, do you now? Do you now? Interesting, interesting. Yep, mm-hmm. Yep, they do get... The bracelets do get removed. Once their heart rate reaches 0. Or at least they can be removed after their heart rate reaches 0. I'd never fall off of her. Well, I mean, she still very much died. So I think it was definitely implied that her bracelet, like, was removable as well. The end! Or is it? There's also the fact that Junpei just couldn't really give a crud anymore, you know? We have reached one ending! This game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to save now. Once you save, you can start the game with information you've acquired in this playthrough saved. Once you begin the game again, you can skip through text you've already seen. And we will be doing that liberally. Next time! We'll be doing that next time! So then who? Yeah, exactly. All 9 of them died! Who could it have been? Like, seriously, this is a TPK right here! So could it be that there are 10 people on the ship? But how does that make sense? How does that make sense? Well, we'll have to find that out next time, yes. Oh man, you're really getting into this, Omega. Holy cow! You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it happen. Alright, yeah. I don't think I'm actually gonna raid out tonight because, I mean, I don't know. I'm starving for one. I want to eat something. And also, imagine going into Splatoon with this after this. You know what I mean? Everyone just died! What else? Who can we raid after this? Seriously. You can't raid a Splatoon stream after this. It just doesn't happen, man. You love Spike Chunsoft games. Oh, I do too. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic games. I love them to death. Oh yeah, and we get to save here. Oh yeah, and I locked an achievement. Face to face with futility. All right, well, next time. Yep, until next time, Omega. Next time we will be we will be trying to go for another route. And find out any other mysteries to this game, because surely we have not discovered everything that this game has to offer. No. There is a lot more information to be had in other playthroughs. And of course, there's the prospect of, well, is there a playthrough where Junpei gets out alive? Maybe Akane as well? Maybe all of them? Well, maybe even the ninth man will get out? I don't know. We'll have to see. But until next time, have a great night, Omega. And everyone else who is watching, who's lurking. We